A while ago, I had asked you all if you wanted to see me do a tutorial on this geode mani that I had created but did not film, and overwhelmingly, you all said yes. So I'm a little late, but here I am. I created a video on this geode mani. I did some different colors, but I am so happy with the way this turned out. So you all wanted to see it. Here it is. Let's get into it. For my base of my geode / marble nails, I like to use a milky white base. So I'm using DDG07, which is Glow Stick by iGel Beauty. So this is a milky white powder that glows purple. And because it is a glow powder, I always like to make sure I give it a good stir before I start dipping, because the glow pigments are heavier and they do tend to sink. I want to make sure that I'm reincorporating them just in case they sink, and that way I can get the maximum amount of glow because I love a good glow. For my liquids, I will be using my Mani Boss Dip Base Coat and Activator, but I will be using a gel top coat in the end to top coat all my nails. So I'm going to start off with my normal dipping process. So my geode nails are going to be on my middle and ring finger. So I'm applying my dip base to my nail. I'm making sure I'm getting full even coverage to my entire nail, and then I will dip into glow stick. Now I will say I like to use a milky white. That's personal preference for geode nails. However, you can use whatever color you want. You can use a more opaque white if you want something brighter and more opaque. You can use a different color. Personally, for me, I like to use a milky white color because it's not as bright and in your face as an opaque white. And I do feel like, though, with the white, the color that I use for the geode marble part of it stands out more against a white than if I were to use another color. So that's kind of why I use a milky white, but certainly use any color you want, whether it's an opaque white, whether it's a gray or purple or blue or whatever color you want. And you know me, I love a good glow, and I love how the design kind of pops against that glow. So I just think it's a nice, fun surprise that I like to add to this mani. And you might be able to tell, but this powder is super thin, but I am going to only keep it at 2 coats because I don't like thick nails. Because I'll be adding that geode type marble art to it, it will create more layers. So I want my base to be thin because I don't want my nails to be too thick. So once I'm done with my first layer, I'm going to dust off the excess powder and I'm going to go in with my second layer. Once I'm done with my 2 dips, I'm going to go ahead and dust off the excess powder, and then I'm going to go ahead and activate these 2 nails. Now this is different than my normal process. I'm not going to cap and clear, but that's because these are so thin and even, I don't need any filing and buffing. If it's a little uneven, I would suggest you probably do some filing and buffing, but you don't need to if it comes out even. So now I'm going to get into my Geode Marble design. So the 2 colors I'm going to be using are Chill Out and You're My Boy Blue, both from Manny Boss Dip Powder. So you can see I pre-dipped Chill Out on my thumb, and then on my index finger and pinky, I've got You're My Boy Blue. So I wanted to incorporate those 2 colors in the rest of my nails, and these are such gorgeous colors. I absolutely love them. You can't really see it from the jars, but both You're My Boy Blue and Chill Out both have a beautiful shimmer to them, which hopefully you'll see at the end. I do want to incorporate some flakies as well, so I've got this iGel Beauty Designer Flakes. I think this is F11. These flakes are so gorgeous, and you'll see a little bit goes a long way, and this is a huge jar of it. I will also be incorporating a little bit of white gel, so this is LB01 Chalk White from iGel Beauty as well. So let's go ahead and get into it. So I'm going to start with my Manny Boss 2-in-1 Gel Base and Top Coat. So this is going to be my base layer that I'm going to do on top of my activated nails. So I'm only going to do 1 nail at a time just to make sure I have it the way I want it before I do my second nail. So I'm applying a thin, even layer of that gel base and top coat onto my nail. I want to make sure everything is smooth and even, that I don't have any lumps or bumps, because this is what I'm going to do to apply everything on top of. And once I've got that down, I am not going to cure. So I'm going to work on top of my wet gel. You could also do this with dip base, but you would have to work faster. So I wouldn't have activated and then I would use my dip base. I would make sure all my jars and everything are open first, because dip base is air dry, so I would have to work quicker. So I like to use gel just because I can take my time. Like here, I forgot to open the jars, so I have time to do that. So I've got this little brush. It is, I can't remember what it's called. I believe Orly sent it to me, but it's a really nice thin brush, and I want something thin and small. So I'm just kind of using the tap ombre method. So I dipped my brush into Chill Out, and I'm just tapping like a thin line of that kind of sporadically. I don't want to do my entire nail. I'm kind of make it diagonal across my nail. So I'm just going to randomly place it. There's no kind of pattern or anything like that. And then once I'm happy with that, I'm going to go in with You're My Boy Blue and do the same thing. So I'm going to kind of go a little bit over, a little bit around that Chill Out. So whatever pattern you want to do, it doesn't have to be diagonal. It could go the other way, whatever you want to do. But I'm just kind of, I don't want it to take up my whole nail. I just want it to be like a diagonal line of that, a little bit at my tip. And it's kind of a trusted process, because at first it kind of looks like a little bit messy, a little bit like it doesn't look great, but it will all work out at the end. So I'm just going to tap off the excess. I decide I want a little bit more Chill Out, so I'm going to tap some more of that on. So however you want it to look, this is the fun part of doing your own nails, that you can kind of create your own type of look with it. So I think I'm happy with the color coverage of that. So now I'm going to go in with these designer flakes. I don't see people use these flakes often, and I don't know why, because they are just so gorgeous. They have, I'm not sure how many different kinds, but this is the color I picked. They have different colors as well. So I'm just taking my liner brush. I dipped that in a little bit of that wet gel. And so I'm just going to randomly place them across my nail. And I probably do too many flakes, but these were so pretty that I just couldn't help myself. So I'm just picking just a little bit up with that liner brush, kind of randomly placing it around that blue, around the white area, just to kind of be a little bit of an accent, so you can kind of see that. So the next thing I want to do is take a little bit of my white gel. So I'm just going to put just a little bit of that on my resin palette, and then take my liner brush. And so the gel base and top coat that I have on, it's uncured, remember, it's still wet. It's going to sort of act like my blooming gel. So I'm just going to randomly put just some small thin lines around the blue line, around the white, where it's going to kind of create that dimension and that marble look. Because the gel base and top coat is wet, it's going to help that kind of spread a little bit and look less stark. And I can kind of dissipate it myself as well using the liner brush, just kind of break it up a little bit. But this is really how you want it to look, where you ever want to put the lines. It's all up to you on how you want that to look. I'm kind of happy with the way this looks. So, well, no, I lied. I'm going to add more flakes because I can't help myself. And then once I'm done adding more flakes, then I will give my nails a cure for 30 seconds.
Invincible.
I cured my nails for a full 60 seconds, so here's how they're looking so far. Now I want to go ahead and encapsulate them so I can do just a little bit of filing and buffing. The other nails I went ahead and capped in clear before I even started this process, so they are already encapsulated and activated. But for this, I'm not going to use clear dip powder for encapsulation. I'm going to go ahead and use my 2-in-1 gel base and top coat for encapsulation as well. And I like this because it's a little bit of a thicker gel, which helps protect that underneath. But I do want extra protection, so I am actually going to do 2 layers of this. So I want to make sure for my first layer, I've got everything evenly covered. Everything is nice and smooth. I don't have any gap areas, so I'm just taking a little extra time. Also want to make sure that I'm not getting any of that gel on my skin. And then once I'm happy with that coverage, when I feel like I've got it even, I'm going to go ahead and cure it for 30 seconds. Oh, and here I've got my hand flipped upside down just to help it level a little bit for a couple seconds. And then once I've cured it for 30 seconds, so I'm using it like a gel base, it's still going to be a little tacky. I'm going to go in with a second layer of this, and this is going to act like my gel top coat. And so the 2 layers will be my extra protection so I don't file through the color. So once I've got this down, I'm going to turn my hand upside down, let it level for a few seconds, and then I will cure it for a full 60 seconds.
Here we go.
Here's how the nails are looking after an encapsulation. So now we're going to get into just a little bit of quick filing and buffing, and I'm not going to use an e-file. So this is my favorite hand file to use because it is so thin and it's really great to get around the cuticle area. So I'm going to use this just to work on my shape a little bit, make sure my cuticle area is clean. So you can see I'm going around my side walls, I'm going around the cuticle area. I want to make sure that I'm back to that almond shape, so I may slim it down a little bit just to make it that almond shape. So I'm just going around really easily. It doesn't require that much filing and buffing, which is why I'm not using an e-file. I just want to clean up that cuticle area because I always want to make sure that as much as I can have like a clean, pretty cuticle area. And then that's all. Really, the next thing I'm going to do is just do some buffing. So I want to smooth out the area, make sure everything's nice and even. So I'm going to take this little buffing block. I personally don't like these little blocks, but I accidentally bought like 2 huge packs of these, and I've had these for years now, and I'm still trying to get through them. So I have them, so I'm trying to use them, but man, I'm ready because I like the bigger blocks to where you can grip them better. These always slip out of my hands. But anyway, I'm going to continue buffing. I'm only going to show you this one nail. I'll do the rest of my nails off camera, and then I'll be back. And I'm back, all finished filing and buffing. So here's how the mani's looking. It was super quick and easy. It didn't require a lot of work at all. So now we're ready to get into gel top coat. So I'm going to be using my Mani Boss 2-in-1 gel top coat again. So I like to cap my free edge first whenever I'm working with gels, and that kind of prevents a ledge. So I do my free edge and then I do the surface of my nails, and that smooths out any of the excess gel that may have spilled over to the surface. So that's the way I like to do it. So I'm going to make sure I cover all my nails and then cure it for 60 seconds. As always, I'm going to finish off my mani by rehydrating my cuticles. I'm using my Scales of Mermaid cuticle oil. This is in the scent Breaking News, I Don't Care. And this was actually a limited edition scent that went away, and then it just recently got voted back into the main line. And I'm so glad it's in the main line now because I love using this scent. It's just a nice fruity kind of scent. I don't know, it's hard to describe Pat's scents because they're just like unique and just a mixture of things. But I just love her products because they're just so hydrating, because you've seen how dry and cracked my skin is. But anyway, that pretty much wraps up today's video. I hope this was helpful. I wanted to show you how I did this geode type marble look. I know I had showed you a picture of a set I had done previously and you seemed interested in it. And seriously, this was so quick and easy. It's a lot easier than you'd think it would be. So I'd love to see if you try this, if this video was helpful. And if it was, I'd appreciate it if you gave this video a thumbs up. It lets me know to continue creating content like this, and it also helps YouTube recommend me to others, which helps grow my channel. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I upload content every Monday and Thursday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.